Part 170. Sky Coffin. Author, Ching Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1691. Sudaji was silent for a while and replied, "No, I just borrowed her body." I was slightly startled when I heard this answer, and then asked, "Then the legends are all true?" "Yeah, really." Then Sudaji told me what he had experienced during the Shang dynasty. Sudaji, the daughter of Suhu in Jizhu and the younger sister of Su Quanzhong, was a stunning beauty who captivated the country, was charming, and was shy of the moon. After the Shang dynasty captured Jizhu, Jizhu was in a mess. Sudaji faced the broken mountains and rivers and the tragic death of her relatives. She was extremely sad in her heart. She wanted revenge, but because she was a member of the female class, there was no hope of revenge. In despair, Sudaji found a fox demon with the Su clan, and wanted to dedicate her body to the fox demon to help her avenge her, which is the fox demon that is now possessing Sudaji. The Su family of fox demons lives in the country of Su, and has good relations with the country of Su. Many people in the country of Su worship fox demons. It is this harmonious environment that allows humans and monsters to non-aggression. At first, the fox demon refused because she could not meddle in human affairs. But by chance, Nuwa came to her and wanted her to help Zhou defeat Zhou. As long as she could succeed, she would have supreme merit and ascend to heaven. Such a promise was fatal to the fox demon. For his own sake and for the sake of the entire Su clan fox clan, the fox demon chose to agree. Afterwards, the fox demon possessed Sudaji and the rest of the story began. Sudaji slowly told me. When she said this, her tone suddenly rose a bit, and her words were full of sorrow. I never expected that Nuwa would go back on her word and say that I am the culprit of the chaos in the world. In the early days of becoming a god, the way of heaven was established. In order for the world to have gods that can be trusted and believed in, those guys must launch a purge of the demon world in the human world. The first victim is our Su clan fox clan. Sudaji became more and more excited as she spoke. What does the overt and covert struggle between gods have to do with our demon race? In the final analysis, we are just victims of consolidating our rule. Without you, our Su clan fox demon would probably disappear from this world. After listening to Sudaji's narration, I sighed slightly and said, "Don't worry, since I have sealed you here, I will try my best to take you out." Sudaji fell into silence, and after a while she said, "Lu Su, I am actually very scared, afraid that you will not keep your promise, but now it seems that I have overthought it, and I have one more thing that I need to trouble you with." I was slightly startled and asked, "What's the matter?" Sudaji replied, "I hope you can protect Sudaji's body. When the matter is over, I should leave this world, and then you can bury him alive." I agreed to this request without even thinking about it. This is not too much to ask. However, what surprised me is that after thousands of years, this fox demon has not forgotten his identity. Sudaji is still Sudaji, and she is still a fox demon. There is a saying that goes well, if you wear a mask for too long, you won't be able to take it off. It is rare that the fox demon has occupied Sudaji's body for nearly thousands of years and has not forgotten it. At this time, Sudaji suddenly said in a very serious tone, "Lu Su, you have to be careful, it has found you, you must find the place where the yin vein is, and then destroy it." Sky Coffin. Author, Ching Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1692. "Okay, I get it," I replied to Sudaji. Then, Sudaji's voice disappeared. I looked around, my expression became extremely solemn, and then Cai Dai said to me, "Lu Su, I feel something powerful is approaching here." Not only Nai Dai felt it, but I also felt it. Don't panic. The soldiers will come to cover up the water and earth. If anything happens, we will deal with it as soon as possible. I comforted Cai Dai. Cai Dai nodded, standing next to me and looking around cautiously. Time passed by minute by second, and very quickly, a minute passed. At this moment, I turned around with a condensed expression and shouted at Cai, behind. I turned around suddenly and was dumbfounded because there was nothing behind me. This is impossible. I just clearly felt an extremely powerful aura appearing behind me. Why is it gone now? Just when I was doubting, Cai screamed at me. Lusu, be careful above you. I looked up suddenly and saw a huge spike falling from the sky, trying to pierce me. With a concentrated look on my face, I suddenly raised my palm and struck hard at the spikes. The moment I took the palm of my hand, lightning condensed in my palm, and then suddenly exploded. The powerful thunder and lightning wrapped the spikes, and they were directly blasted to pieces. Where did these spikes come from? I frowned, and I suddenly discovered a very serious question. That is the surrounding cave. I am now in that huge tree hole, the surrounding walls are made of wood, and now I actually find that the surrounding wooden walls are slowly squirming. Just when I was wondering, countless wooden spikes came towards me again. I quickly drew out the Xuxian sword to deal with it. I quickly swung the sword to cut off all these spikes. But the next second, I felt that the ground under my feet was empty, and my whole body fell rapidly. I was stupid, I had clearly stepped on a vine just now. Then why did the vines disappear suddenly? I looked below me and saw an endless, dark abyss. At this time, colorful butterfly transformed into its true form and caught me, and countless spikes came from around me. I analyzed the situation as I dealt with it, and it didn't take long for me to figure it all out. Sudaji said before that the Nine Netherworld has derived its own consciousness, and that he is a separate individual, not a dead thing. The entire canyon is the land of the Nine Netherworld. In other words, the consciousness of the Juyo Temple can travel anywhere. The entire canyon is his huge body. He can manipulate the terrain changes at will, and can also derive countless means of attack. This is a bit troublesome. Enemies that can change the terrain are not easy to deal with. Lusu, what should we do now? I pondered for a moment, then broke off and said to Cai, get out of here now. Find a way to go to an open place. Cai agreed and took me back along the passage I came from. But the passage we came from has disappeared and been replaced by bumpy trees. Obviously, the consciousness of the Nine Netherworld has blocked the passage. He wants to kill me here. Now the entire tree hole is a big airtight iron box, and it is impossible to find a way out. If that's the case, then I'll cut off this big iron box and find my own way out. I held the Xuxian sword in my hand, took a deep breath, and slowly raised the Xuxian sword. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1693. I unlocked the seal, mobilized the dragon energy in my body, and gathered all the dragon energy in my body on the Xuxian sword. The Xuxian sword emitted a dazzling golden light, and the entire pitch-black space was instantly covered in golden light, making everything as far as the eye could see was golden. I calmed down and swung my sword without any hesitation. The sword that condenses my whole body's aura is enough to cut this big tree in half. The powerful sword energy burst through the air. Tear the air. Cut through the tree. Whoosh. The giant tree was cut in half by me. I said to Cai, Nai die. Quick. Get out of here. The colorful butterfly responded and flew towards the gap I made. Soon, Cai and I left the giant tree. Cai asked in a panic, where are we going now? I pondered for a moment and replied, go to the top of the canyon. Cai agreed, and then rushed out of the barrier around the giant tree. I quickly circulated Zyway True UN to envelope Cai Dai and me. Darkness once again enveloped Cai Dai and me, and everything we saw was dark. The colorful butterfly flew upward at an extremely fast speed. At this time, the weak water began to flow, and the strong current swept me and the colorful butterfly into it. The weak water is still, and the current flow is so fierce. Needless to say, it is also the consciousness of Juyojicha. Lu Su, this is not the way to go. The current is too strong, I can't use my strength. Kadi said hard to me. My brain was running rapidly to devise countermeasures. Since it was weak water, it also belonged to water. As long as I used water control spells, I would definitely be able to solve the predicament at hand. Thinking of this, I quickly kneaded the formula with both hands, and a blue circular magic circle appeared in front of me. My face condensed and I shouted loudly, and then the blue magic circle began to spread. I manipulated the magic circle to control the water flow, and actually directly opened a gap in the weak water. This gap is like a huge ocean trench, except that there are rock walls on both sides of the trench, but now there is strong water here. It is very difficult to control the weak water. The consciousness of Juyojisha is fighting with me. It is equivalent to a battle of wits between me and it. The water walls on both sides slowly came closer, and I tried my best to separate them again. Colorful butterfly did not dare to delay and quickly flew directly upward. Just when I couldn't hold on anymore, Kadi finally rushed out. At the same time, the trench just now was completely filled with weak water. The colorful butterfly stopped on the weak water, and I stood on the back of the colorful butterfly to think about countermeasures. Now I can confirm that the consciousness of Juyofir's temple can be transferred, it can exist anywhere, and it can also change the terrain of any place. If you want to cut off the yin veins in the 9 serenities and fierce land, you must control them. But now there is a very critical question, that is, how to find the yin veins of the 9 netherworld fierce land. At this time, I suddenly thought of a technique to find dragon veins. Searching for dragon veins is looking for yang dragon veins, not yin dragon veins. Although this Juyu ominous land is a fierce place, its essence is still yin dragon veins. As long as I cast a spell to find the yin dragon vein and control it, I can cut it off. I sat cross-legged on the ground and kneaded the formula with my hands, muttering words in my mouth. After finishing the preparations, I suddenly opened my eyes and saw a strong dragon aura exuding from my body, and the dragon aura spread in all directions. Lu Su, what are you doing? Nai Dai asked. I'm covering the surroundings with my chi, looking for the yin dragon veins. Cai Dai was slightly startled and asked, is it a radar? End of chapter. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1694. You can understand it this way. This is a technique that uses qi to find dragons. It covers the surrounding area with one's own qi, and then if there is a reaction between the breath and the body, you can take this opportunity to find the dragon's veins. Cai Dai was confused. She groaned, but still didn't understand. Lu Su, I didn't expect you to be quite powerful. You can understand such advanced techniques. I smiled slightly at Cai Dai's compliment. At the beginning, the spells, formations, and talismans I mastered were only those given to me by Su Tianqian. As the memories of previous lives awakened, various lost and powerful spells appeared in my mind. These spells allow me to solve many things that I couldn't solve before. But I still don't have any idea how to get rid of the inevitable ending of entering the sky coffin. No one wants to die, including me. If I didn't have any worries in this world, I would die if I died, but it's hard to let go of too many worries. In addition to facing the impending death, I also looked for ways to survive in death, but in the end I found nothing. Strength is what I have always pursued. Because only when I become stronger can I protect the people I want to protect. But now that I have the power, I can't protect myself. That's it, just death. There is a big scar on the head, as long as Su Tianqian and the others can survive. Just when I was thinking wildly, the black weak water under me began to churn violently. I frowned, and in the next second, countless thick water columns rose into the sky from the weak water. The colorful butterfly saw this and quickly flew out to dodge. There was just one more water column and the next water column followed one after another. I wanted to continue to use water control and other magic to control weak water, but I just used it once and used the dragon seeking technique, which made the energy in my body start to drop. It is difficult to compete with the consciousness of the nine netherworld. We must think of other ways. At this moment, countless thick water columns came towards me from all directions. I didn't have time to think, I made a secret with both hands, and a brown magic circle emerged in front of me. All I can think of now is to use the method of the 5 elements to interact with each other to deal with the predicament at hand. Wood defeats earth, earth defeats water, water defeats fire, fire defeats metal, and metal defeats wood. If you want to block weak water, you can only use earth. The brown magic circle expanded rapidly in front of me. I shouted loudly, and walls of earth suddenly shot out from the magic circle. The earth wall surrounded Cai and me in the middle. The weak water hit the earth wall hard, and I could clearly feel the powerful force. Simply using earth attribute spells would not be able to withstand the collision of weak water. After all, weak water is not as simple as imagined. But how long can it last now? As long as I find where the yin dragon vein is, I can leave here. The weak water rushed against the earth wall crazily, and the thick earth wall also collapsed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Just when the earthen wall was about to collapse, golden light suddenly flashed around me. Then the golden light condensed in front of my eyes, and a golden map came into my eyes. There are mountains and rivers on the map, and one of them is black, which should be where the yin dragon vein is. This yin dragon vein was very close to me, but I found that this yin dragon vein was actually moving. It stands to reason that the yin dragon vein cannot move, but the Juya fierce land has derived its own consciousness, and the yin dragon vein can move and is still being cleared. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1695. I already have a plan in mind on how to trap the yin dragon vein. There is a technique called trap dragon technique. The so-called trapping dragon technique does not refer to trapping a real dragon, but a feng shui technique. Casting the trapping dragon technique can trap the dragon's veins and dragon's energy in place, causing it to lose its original function, but the dragon's energy still exists. Most people who can use the trap dragon technique are royal feng shui masters. The purpose for the royal feng shui master to learn the dragon trap technique is also very simple. That is to trap the dragon veins and enhance the national destiny of the dynasty at that time. You must know that the luck of a dragon vein is limited, and it is impossible for it to continuously produce dragon energy. Because there are people or other spirits in this world who are constantly absorbing dragon energy. The imperial court trapped the dragon vein, causing it to lose its original function. When the world is in chaos and disasters continue, he will come into contact with the trapping dragon technique. At that time, he will use the dragon veins to prosper the world and consolidate his rule. This kind of thing was very common among ancient dynasties. I didn't know how to use the dragon trap technique before, but now that my memory has awakened, I already have a rough idea of these lost techniques, so it's no longer a problem to use them. Thinking of this, I said to Cai Dai, I already know the location of the yin dragon veins. You fly towards the southeast. Just fly. I will handle anything that happens along the way. Cai Dai agreed and set her sights in the southeast. I took a deep breath and immediately removed the magic circle. The moment the magic circle disappeared, the raging weak water hit me and Cai Dai with overwhelming force. My expression condensed, and I drew out the Zuxian sword and slashed at the weak water in front of me. Whoosh! A sharp sword energy shot through the air. Directly cutting weak Shui in half, Cai Dai took this opportunity to fly towards the southeast at an extremely fast speed. The weak water behind him followed closely. Cai Dai tried her best this time, her speed was unprecedentedly fast. This made the corners of my mouth twitch slightly. This girl's slow look before was just acting like me. Cai Dai quickly left Wu Shui behind. Lusu. Can I fly fast? I said speechlessly, quick, were you playing me before? I didn't. The situation wasn't urgent before, so I didn't use all my strength, Cai Dai said with some dissatisfaction, Lusu. I have already become your mount. You are still picky. Believe it or not, I will throw it down. Okay, okay. My fault, shut up. Cai Dai is really a young lady, she has a bad temper, she can't be offended, she can't be offended. Wao Shui has been left behind by Cai Dai, and the crisis is temporarily coming into contact. However, Cai Dai is getting serious this time. Her speed did not slow down at all, and she probably knew that the situation at this time was not optimistic. Just as the colorful butterfly was flying quickly, a shocking scene happened. I saw mountains one after another suddenly rising above the earth. Countless mountains rise into the sky, soaring straight to the sky. It was like the spikes in a dungeon trap attacking me and Nabi. My pupils trembled slightly. Wipe. This place of 9 serenities is indeed dangerous. Looking at the oncoming mountains, Cai Dai adjusted her body shape and wanted to fly in a higher direction. I quickly said to Kaidi, it's useless, no matter how high you fly, these mountains will grow with you. Then what should we do now? I looked at the rapidly growing mountains on the ground and fell into deep thought. These mountains are huge and the tops are as sharp as daggers. Hide. Can you hide? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1696. These mountains grow very fast, and I and the colorful butterflies can be trapped in them in the blink of an eye. And, let me split the mountain? I am not Agar Wood. Correct. You can use the 9 Eyes Heaven Realm. There's one thing I've been overlooking. The ability of 9 Eyes Heaven Realm is not just teleportation. It is a world of its own. As long as I am in this realm of heaven, I can do whatever I want. How could I have ignored this? I condensed my expression and used 9 Eyes Heavenly Domain. The 9 Eyes Heaven Realm unfolds. The pitch-black barrier spread around me at a speed visible to the naked eye. With my current strength, the scope of the 9 Eyes Heaven Realm has expanded by more than a tiny bit. The 9 Eyes Heaven Domain covers the rapidly growing mountains. Of course it's impossible to cover them all. Because Cai Dai and I are currently at a height of 1000, if not 800. It is impossible for the 9 Eyes Heavenly Domain to cover a 1000-meter high mountain. However, this is enough. I suddenly stretched out my right hand, and the mountain covered by the 9 Eyes Heaven stopped growing. The range of the 9 Eyes Heaven Realm is limited, but it can move as I move. In other words, as long as colorful butterfly takes me forward, 9 Eyes Heaven Realm will move forward together. Looking around, there are huge mountains everywhere you look. As long as the 9 Eyes Heaven Domain covers these mountains, I can change the shape of the mountains and make a gap appear in them. In this way, Cai Dai and I can get through this safely. Colorful Butterfly also understood my intention and continued to fly quickly toward the southeast. Along the way, many mountains appeared out of thin air to block Cai Dai and me. Without any hesitation, I used the power of the 9 Eyes Heavenly Domain to create a gap or crack in the mountain. In this way, Cai Dai took me all the way smoothly. Soon, we came to the location where the Yin Dragon veins existed. The mountains here are winding, the rocks are rugged, and there is darkness that can't be seen at a glance. The scene in front of me feels like countless mountains standing in an abyss. Although there is light, it is extremely weak. I looked around and quickly spotted something. Viewed from a high altitude, these mountains look like a giant dragon. I'm so happy. Finally found. This is the Feng Shui Eye of the Nine Netherworld and the location of the Nine Netherworld and the place where consciousness exists. Although the consciousness of the Nine Netherworld can be transferred, it still needs a carrier. The continuous mountain range in front of us, shaped like a blue dragon, is the consciousness carrier of the Nine Netherworld. I sat cross-legged on Cai Dai's back, kneading the secrets with my hands, and chanting words. In order to avoid long nights and dreams, I plan to use the trapping dragon technique now. Just when I was halfway through my preparations, Kadi suddenly shouted, "Lusu! Look!" I frowned and opened my eyes and looked straight ahead. I saw a huge blue dragon appearing in front of me. This Kanglong's body is pitch black, and its face is ferocious and terrifying. Cai Dai and I are not as big as the toes of this Kanglong in front of it. I looked at this blue dragon and sneered in my heart. Just now, I was worried about how to control the consciousness of the Nine Serenities and Fierce Land, but now I have appeared on my own. The giant dragon in front of me is the condensed Yin Qi consciousness of the Nine Netherworlds. It has no entity and is like a ghost. It was this guy who was responsible for the mischief before. I remember that the black dragon in front of me was recorded in ancient books, and it seemed to be called the Nine Nether Fierce Dragon. I don't remember it very clearly, so let's call him Zhu Yalong. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1697. As long as the Nine Nether Dragon in front of you is killed, the seal here will be broken. By then, what I promised Sudaji will be accomplished. The Nine Nether Dragon is huge, and its body stretches thousands of miles like a mountain. It's not easy to deal with such a big thing. The Nine Nether Dragon opened its bloody mouth and roared at me. The strong airflow directly lifted Cai Dai and me away. "Lusu! This dragon's breath smells so bad." Cai Dai complained. "Okay, stop complaining. After killing this dragon, we can leave this hellish place," I said to Nai Dai. "Good. Lusu, I have helped you a lot this time. When you return to Jiyuntang, help me clear all my games." Kadi took the opportunity to negotiate terms with me. I replied, "You go back and play the game yourself, I won't help you." "Lusu! You went back on your word." Kadi yelled at me very angrily. Okay, I'll help you fight." Cai Dai, the ant, might act like a monster if she doesn't care when her temper gets angry. Zhu Yalong's huge eyes stared at me, full of viciousness and malice. I stared at Zhu Yalong. At this time, Zhu Dragon let out another dragon roar that resounded throughout the world. I frowned and suddenly had a bad feeling in my heart. Sure enough, countless shadows in the darkness not far away came towards me. Judging from the shape of the shadow, it must be witch fox monster. I can't let these fox monsters get close. Once these fox monsters get close, my situation will be even more difficult. I must hurry up and kill the Nine Nether Dragon. It is a thing condensed by the Yin Qi of the Nine Nether Dragon, and it can possess it anywhere in the Juyu evil land. In order to prevent this from happening, I must take measures to deal with it. I knead the formula with both hands and mutter something in my mouth. Even when I was doing this, the Nine Nether Dragon was not idle, it roared towards me. I can't do anything at this time, I have to concentrate on preparing the spell. Therefore, the only one I can rely on at this time is Cai Dai. When faced with such a huge creature, Cai Dai did not attack, but dodged. This is indeed the best response. The nine nether dragon is huge and moves slowly, while the colorful butterfly moves quickly. The nine nether dragon just can't catch the colorful butterfly. Countless fox demons are also approaching at an extremely fast speed. Just when the fox demon was less than a kilometer away from me, I opened my eyes suddenly, shouted loudly, and released powerful dragon energy all over my body. The golden dragon energy soars into the sky. The golden light reflects the dark night sky. I suddenly stretched out my palm and then made a fist. At the same time, countless golden ropes suddenly burst out from the golden sky. The rope struck towards Juya dragon with the force of thunder. Juyalong seemed to have anticipated something, and he quickly dodged. But there are countless golden ropes in the sky, and they are as dense as raindrops. Just when the golden rope was about to touch the nine nether dragon, the ropes suddenly came together, and countless ropes turned into 9 thick golden chains. 9 golden chains directly tied the nine nether dragon. The nine nether dragon was bound in the air by golden chains. It struggled desperately, but to no avail. In just such a short time, countless fox demons have come around me. They came at me like crazy. Kadi asked me what to do. I didn't answer. I took a deep breath and took off the Xuxian sword. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1698. I hold the Xuxian sword in my hand and gather all the dragon energy in my body into the Xuxian sword. The Xuxian sword emits a dazzling white light. I said before, if I want to unleash the full power of the Xuxian sword, I need to give it all, without reservation. In order to kill the nine nether dragon with one blow, I didn't even leave a way out for myself. After swinging this sword, I will be exhausted or even fall into a coma. This matter can no longer be delayed. I must get out of the sky coffin as soon as possible and retrieve the other 2 divine swords. There are a lot of gods waiting for me outside. As long as I break the immortal killing formation, the barrier between the tombs of the gods and the human world will also be broken. The tomb of the gods is a huge cage, and sooner or later this cage will be broken. Only by finding the 9 evil star can I reseal it. But now, this cage is about to break a hole. As long as this hole is opened, some gods will come back to the world, and I will definitely die. However, if I can obtain the 4 divine swords, I can manipulate the Xuxian formation to turn defeat into victory without destroying it. This is my only chance, if successful. Then I can deal with the 9 evil stars. After the 9 evil stars return to the palace, I will reseal the tombs of the gods, and after sealing the tombs of the gods, I will use my limbs and 5 senses to repair the coffin. By then everything will be over, and the reincarnation will be endless. The plan can also come to an end. I never understood one thing before. That's why I had to repair the sky coffin. Later I learned that the sky coffin is the concrete manifestation of heaven and earth. It is equivalent to a person's soul. As long as the sky coffin is broken, the world will lose its soul. If a person loses his soul, he will definitely die. What if heaven and earth lose their souls? The consequences would be disastrous, and in the end it is estimated that the entire world will return to chaos. I, Lu Su, am not a saint, nor do I have any great righteousness. But I know that once the world returns to chaos, everything I hold dear will be gone. I am not only doing it for the people of the world, but also for the people and things I cherish. The Xuxian sword exudes such powerful pressure that the air is trembling. In addition, the sword energy emitted by the Xuxian sword spans 30,000 miles. The cold light it emits is enough to cover 19 states. I feel like the dragon energy in my body is passing away quickly. The body is also becoming weak. My expression condensed, and I suddenly raised the immortal killing sword in my hand. The scattered sword energy of the Xuxian sword immediately converged towards the Xuxian sword. The cold light emitted by the Xuxian sword has reached an unprecedented brightness. After Zhu Yalong felt the power of the Xuxian sword, his eyes showed fear. It struggled desperately and kept wailing. If I hadn't used the golden rope to control the 9 nether dragon in advance, the 9 nether dragon would have run away by this time. I slowly swung my sword towards Juya dragon. The sword body of the Zuxian sword burst out with a powerful sword energy. The sword energy seems to be able to tear apart everything in this time. It seems like it can cut the earth and sky in half. Whoosh! The sword energy directly penetrated Zhuyalong's thousands-mile-long body and cut it in half. Zhuyu dragon let out a shrill howl, and its huge body began to collapse at a speed visible to the naked eye. And after I swung the sword, I ran out of energy and collapsed directly on the ground. My eyes were black, my head was dizzy, and I might faint at any time. Lusu, are you okay? Cai Dai asked worriedly. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1699. I shook my head at Cai Dai and replied, I'm fine. How is Zhu Yalong? Cai Dai replied, he is dead, and the world seems to have changed. A different look? I struggled to look up. I found that the gloomy sky had become brighter at this moment. The sun penetrates the dark clouds and shines on the earth. The originally bare earth was now full of life, with birds chirping and flowers fragrant. I was in a daze seeing such beautiful scenery. In my impression, the sky coffin looks lifeless no matter which layer it is. Only this layer really looks like the real world. The colorful butterfly fell slowly, and then the colorful light lingered around her body. When the colorful light disappeared, I was held in the arms of the colorful butterfly. I lay on Nadia's lap and looked at the blue sky. Alas, this matter can be considered settled. I couldn't help but sigh. Cai Dai nodded aside and agreed, yes. This matter has been solved. It will only be more dangerous when we go out. I looked at Cai Dai and said speechlessly, can you please not ruin the atmosphere? Kadi rolled her eyes, I'm just telling the truth. Just as Cai Dai and I were bickering, many white foxes suddenly appeared around us. The white fox approached me and Cai Dai. Cai Dai instantly became alert when she saw this. I said to Cai Dai, don't worry, now that the seal is broken, they have regained their consciousness. Countless white foxes came to my side, and then they transformed into human forms and appeared in front of me. These foxes are like people, old and young, male and female, and even babies in the process of being raped. They looked at me with gratitude. At this moment, the crowd moved aside and Sudaji slowly walked out. She smiled at me and said, Lusu. Thank you. I couldn't exert any strength now, so I could only smile at Sudaji and said, thank you for what? This is what I promised you. Sudaji came to me and asked with concern, how are you? I replied, it's okay, I'm just exhausted. I'll be fine after taking a rest. Sudaji looked at me with complicated eyes and said, Lusu, I originally thought you would change, but 1,000 years have passed and you are still the same as before. Sudaji said that the person I was 1,000 years ago should be Boyikeo. After all, Boyikeo and Sudaji were in the same period. I must have met. Sudaji's thoughts were far away and she murmured in a low voice, I remember the first time we met in Yin and Shang dynasties. At that time, you came to seek death to save your father. At that time, I felt that you were stupid, knowing that King Zhou of Shang dynasty was cruel. You came to die, but I didn't expect that King Zhou of Shang would actually keep his promise and let your father go. Moreover, you also saw that I was a fox demon at that time. Instead of insulting me or blaming me like everyone else in the world, you revealed that I couldn't help myself. You had seen through all the conspiracy and told me, but I didn't believe you. Now that I think about it, the fool was not you, but me. Sudaji began to feel depressed. I often think about it, if I had listened to you at that time, my people would not have to die. Sudaji looked up at me, smiled sweetly, and said, but it's not bad now. It was you who saved our entire Fox clan, allowing us to reincarnate and live an ordinary life. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1700. I smiled at Sudaji and said, don't think so much. There must be a road in front of the driveway. From the bridge to the bow of the boat, it will naturally be straight. Just let nature take its course. Sudaji stood up slowly and took a step back. Lusu, thank you. With that said, Sudaji plopped down on the ground towards me. When her clan members saw this, they fell to their knees without hesitation and expressed their gratitude to me in unison. Get up. You don't have to thank me. Since I saved your lives, I have imprisoned you for so many years. Now it's time to let you go. Sudaji looked at me and said, it's really time for us to leave, but before we leave, we have one more thing to do. After saying that, Sudaji slowly stood up, and the other fox demons also stood up. The next second, all the fox demons present transformed into their true bodies. Immediately afterwards, each fox demon exuded an astonishing demonic energy. The demonic energy surged into my body like a tide. I frowned, and the demonic energy entered my body, making me miserable. At this time, Sudaji's voice sounded in my ears. Lusu, don't resist. Let these demonic energies become the energy in your body. As long as you digest these demonic energies, your strength will increase quickly. However, you have to know one thing. The demonic energies are too huge and you cannot to digest it all at once, you must seek gradual progress. I nodded, and Cai helped me sit down cross-legged. I took a deep breath and began to accept the evil spirit of the entire Fox clan. The process of transmitting demonic energy lasted for more than an hour. After Sudaji and the others were finished, I still sat cross-legged on the ground and converted these evil spirits into my own power. Sudaji was right, the entire Fox clan's demonic energy was too powerful for me to digest at once. I can only temporarily seal part of it, just like sealing dragon energy. After I seal part of the demonic energy, I will find time to unlock the spiritual vein seal in my body and let those dragon energy become my real power. I don't know how long it took, but I slowly let out a breath and opened my eyes. There are countless white foxes in front of me. They have taught me their lifelong cultivation. Without the Tao, they cannot maintain the human body. But Sudaji could, because she was originally possessed by Sudaji. Thank you, these cultivations have helped me a lot. I said to Sudaji. Sudaji smiled and said, you just said we didn't need to thank you, but now you're here to thank us. This is different. What's different? Sudaji asked back, and then her tone became serious. Lusu, after you go out, you must do everything you can to seize the other 2 divine swords. Because with 4 divine swords, you only then can we compete with Wenzhong. And, remember, after entering Zhangzia's tomb, you have to find the god-beating whip and the list of gods. The most important thing is that you must not let the immortal killing formation dissipate. Once the immortal killing formation dissipates, the tomb of the gods will be opened. If there is a gap, some powerful gods will come out. As for the consequences of the gods coming out, I don't need to say more. I nodded and said, okay, I understand. Sudaji breathed a long sigh of relief, with a look of relief on her face, and said, the exit of the sky coffin is that coffin. It's time for us to leave. You can only do the rest of the journey alone. One more thing, you must not let Master Tianqian down. She has paid too much for you.